Hey everyone, this is Steven here, back at it again with another video. In today's video, we're going to be comparing PSA 10 prices to BGS 9.5 prices. But before we get into that, if you enjoy this type of content and would like to hear more in the future, please feel free to hit the like button and also subscribe. So now that we got all of that out of the way, we can get into the actual video here. I did want to say that I hope everyone is having a great Thursday and getting ready for the weekend ahead of us. I was actually supposed to be in Mexico today. I had a week-long vacation plan there starting yesterday. However, I was experiencing some stomach pain prior to heading to Mexico. I went to go get that checked out and actually had an appendicitis, so I had to get my useless appendix removed yesterday, so no longer going to Mexico, which is kind of a bummer, but I figured since I'll just be laying around on the couch today, kind of recovering and resting up, I figured I could make a quick video. And in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the price and value of sports cards that are graded PSA 10 versus BGS 9.5, which is technically both gem mint cards. We're not going to be looking at submitting cards to either company or anything like that. In this video, we're really going to be focused in on the secondary market value of buying and selling these cards in a particular grade and comparing the two. Now, over the past year or so, we've been told that BGS has really taken a step back with their operations, their lack of communications. They've been shut down for quite some time now with their express and standard service. The real talk has really been how SEC has been surpassing them, with PSA still being the king. And a lot of that is true, but I did want to just take a look at how their card values have been holding up compared to PSA, as we do know that PSA is still the #1 sports card grader as far as holding value. So on this, I do have a pretty small sample size of baseball cards, basketball cards, as well as football cards, and we're just going to be comparing the value of a PSA 10 compared to a BGS 9.5, and we're going to take a look to see if BGS is really as bad as we've been saying it is over the past year or so. So I'm going to start off here with none other than Mike Trout. I have his 2011 Topps Update. This is his base rookie card. Again, I have this in a PSA 10 as well as a BGS 9.5. Now the PSA 10 is going to hold more value, sell at a higher price. The last sale on this PSA 10 was $2,999. We'll call this $3,000, which is up 7% over the past 90 days or 3 months. The BGS 9.5 last sold for $1,575, which is about half of what the PSA 10 sold for. However, the BGS 9.5 is actually up more, 10.5% over the past 90 days. Now, if we take a look 90 days back, the PSA 10 was selling for about $2,799, whereas the BGS 9.5 was selling for about $1,425. So 90 days ago, you could pick up the BGS 9.5 for almost $1,400 less than the PSA 10. And then 90 days later, the BGS 9.5 actually outperformed the PSA 10 while saving you $1,400 up front about 90 days ago that you could do whatever you'd want with it. The next card I wanted to look at here is Ronald Acuna Jr. I have his 2018 Topps, and this is the bat down short print variation. Now, over the past 90 days, it does look like there was an anomaly sale here for Acuna Jr., which sold for about 87% lower than what it did 90 days ago. I'm going to exclude that anomaly, and I'm going to say that the last price was down about 17% over the past 90 days. And again, this is for the PSA 10, and the last sale price on this was about $1,900. As far as a BGS 9.5, the last sale was $1,100, which is actually up about 4.7%. Now, $1,100 is significantly less than the $1,900 sale that the Acuna was going for. However, you have to take a look at what you bought the card for. So 90 days ago, the Acuna in a BGS 9.5 was selling for almost $1,000 less than the PSA 10. And the rate of return, or the percentage that you actually got over the past 90 days, the PSA 10 actually went down about 17%, whereas the BGS 9.5 actually held up and went up about 5% over the past 90 days. The next example I want to look at is Juan Soto, another fan favorite here. I have his 2018 Topps Update base rookie card, a very heavily printed card. This one has a PSA 10 population of about 21,000. I have this in a PSA 10 and also a BGS 9. So over the past 90 days, looks like the PSA 10 is down about 30%, with the last sale being $113. The BGS 9 is actually down about 6%. So it does look like the BGS 9.5 is holding up much better than the PSA 10 in this specific example. So there's a very small sample size of baseball cards. Now I'm going to switch over to a couple basketball cards just to see how BGS 9.5s are holding up compared to PSA 10s. So I'm going to start off with Another really heavily printed rookie card here, and this is Luka Doncic. I have his 2018 Prizm base rookie card in a PSA 10, which has a PSA 10 population of about 18,500. I also have his BGS 9.5 of the same card. Now, over the past 90 days, the PSA 10 recently sold for $390, which is down about 4%. But if we take a look at the BGS 9.5 over the same time period, last sold for about $272, which is actually up about 18.3%. So we are seeing this Luka BGS 9.5 perform a lot better than the PSA 10 of the same card over the past 90 days. The next card I have here is another fan favorite, and this is Steph Curry on the pretty hot Warriors right now. This is the 2009 Topps base rookie card in a PSA 10 and also a BGS 9.5. Over the past 90 days, the PSA 10 last sold for $7,750, which is down about 21%, whereas the BGS, a lot less sales, a lot more limited sales, last sold for $5,000, which is again about over $2,000 less than the PSA 10 sale. However, this one's actually up about 56%, where the PSA 10 is down about 21%. But again, there's a lot less sales for the BGS 9.5 as opposed to the PSA 10. And then the last basketball player I wanted to quickly touch on is Ja Morant on the Memphis Grizzlies. I have his 2019 Prizm Silver in a PSA 10, and I also have that in a BGS 9.5. Now, over the past 90 days, the last sale on the PSA 10 was about $1,840, which is up about 10%. For the BGS 9.5, the last sale was $929, which is actually up about 9.4%. So this is actually up less than the PSA 10. However, it's pretty close. Both are around that 10% range. So now that we looked at a couple baseball cards, a couple basketball cards, now I'm going to transition over to a couple football cards to see how BGS 9.5s are holding up compared to PSA 10s. Now this one has a pretty wide gap here. This is Patrick Mahomes' 2017 Prizm Silver rookie card in a PSA 10 and also a BGS 9.5. For the PSA 10, the last sale was a whopping $5,750, which is down about 17%. Now, if we take a look at the BGS 9.5, which sold, looks like around the same day, that sold for $2,315, which is about half of the price of the PSA 10. However, that's actually up about 16% over the past 90 days, whereas the Patrick Mahomes in a PSA 10 is down close to 18. So again, you're paying a lot more for the PSA 10s, but over the past 90 days or so, BGS has tracked the same as a percentage-wise, if not overperformed the PSA 10s over the past 90 days. And then the last football card I wanted to take a look at here is Kyler Murray. I have his 2019 Prizm base rookie card in a PSA 10 as well as a BGS 9.5. The PSA 10 over the past 90 days is down a whopping 27%, whereas the BGS 9.5 is down pretty significantly as well, down about 16%. We take a look at some sales close to the same day. Looks like the PSA would be down about 26%, whereas the BGS 9.5 would be down about 16%, so a little closer there. Both down pretty significantly, but it does look the BGS 9.5 is actually holding up a lot better than the PSA 10. Now, we just covered a pretty small sample size of some sports cards comparing PSA 10s versus BGS 9.5s, which are again both considered gem mint cards. It does look like, even though this is a pretty small sample size, that BGS 9.5s are holding up from a percentage standpoint pretty closely to PSA 10s, and if not, it does look like they're actually performing a little bit better than PSA 10s. And I know the main knock against BGS compared to PSA is that PSA cards are typically a lot more liquid or a lot easier to sell as opposed to a lot of the other grading companies out there, which I 100% agree with. But if we're just looking at a percentage standpoint over the past 90 days or so, it does look like BGS 9.5s can be performing pretty similarly, if not better than PSA 10s, but you're actually able to pick them up for sometimes over half of the price point of what PSA 10s are going for. And if we go back to that Mike Trout example, you could save over $1,000 by picking up a BGS 9.5 as opposed to a PSA 10, and then you would have $1,000 to pick up some other cards or do whatever else you wanted to do with it, so you didn't have as much money into one individual PSA 10 card at the time, but the percentage gain that you would have seen over 90 days or so would have actually been greater in a BGS 9.5 than the PSA 10. But I did find it pretty interesting that from a percentage standpoint, BGS is actually holding up pretty well compared to PSA 10. Now, I do know that the gap is definitely widening between a PSA 10 and a 9.5. Those used to be a lot closer in the past. But if the percentages are trending in the same direction, I just don't see the point, me personally, of paying almost double for a PSA 10 where you can get a 9.5 for almost half the price, and the trend's going to be the same, and then you still have more money to do whatever you want with at the end of the day. But again, those are just my thoughts. Let me know down in the comments what you guys and gals think of just some of the data points that we looked at. And I know that grading companies are always a hot topic, so let me know if you're a big PSA fan or a big BGS fan, or you hate them both. Just let me know down in the comments what you guys and gals think. But that is the end of the video. Thanks again for stopping by, and have a good rest of your day. Bye.